It might be the first day of school, but this day is no different than any of the other days. The professors talk and talk, and I seem to learn nothing. I propped up my elbow on the arm of my chair and began to nod off. Suddenly I woke in a strange room, with nothing around me but white. As I began to explore the room, I heard someone walking up behind me. "My name's Lucy, and I'm here to tell you about our prehistoric ancestors." "Wait a second. You're a walking, talking skeleton. Why would I listen to you?" I replied. "Well, didn't you want to learn something new?" she said. "That's what I'm here for." So I gave in, and she began to speak. "Like I said before, my name's Lucy, and I want to tell you about mine as well as your own prehistoric family history. Let's start with the basics." I gave a hesitant look, and she walked up beside me and began to explain. I looked around, and the white walls were beginning to show images of things that I had never seen before. Maybe these are what Lucy was going to talk about. Looked like fossils, dig site photos, and timelines. "Both you and I are hominids. I'm sure you've probably not heard this word before, so I'll explain it to you. Basically, a hominid describes primates that include modern humans, that's you, and their fossil ancestors, that's me. I'm your prehistoric hominid ancestor." Wait, I said. "You and I are related?" With a chuckle, she replied, "Well, yeah, sort of. I know you're going to have a lot of questions, but let me show you the whole story first." So you are probably wondering how in the world I know that we are related. Well, that would be because of the work of anthropologists. Anthropologists study the culture and development of human societies, and that would include the fossil remains. They are the ones responsible for the knowledge that the world has on humans and their ancestors. Anthropologists travel and live all over the world, studying human-like fossils and their ways of life. In fact, the anthropologist that discovered me was named Donald Johanson. It seemed like only yesterday when he found my remains in Ethiopia. That was in 1974, and even then he knew that I was like 3 million years old. I think I look pretty good for 3 million. What do you think? "Well, you look great," I replied. "Never mind what you think. Back to the story. So, when I was discovered and my bones were studied and dated, I was found to be part of the hominid grouping of Australopithecus. What a weird name, right? Australopithecus is how you pronounce that. As you can see, myself as well as other Australopithecines walked upright, and we used tools to hunt and survive and did not have permanent settlements. After my hominid family is an important family of hominids that sprouted up. They are called Neanderthals. They lived around 35,000 to 130,000 years ago, during the Stone Age. Now don't start imagining the Flintstones on me, because that's not what a caveman was. And don't think of those silly car insurance commercials either. These cavemen did not live at the same time as dinosaurs. In fact, no human species ever coexisted with the dinosaurs. The Neanderthals were also hunter-gatherer communities. They lived in Europe and Southwest Asia. Their bodies had acclimated to this cold, harsh climate. The Neanderthals' tools were more technical than the ones that my family used, and they showed important progression towards culture. Evidence has been found to support the idea that Neanderthals buried their dead. You might not have any idea why this is so important, so I'll explain it to you. Before this time, hominids were closer to primates than to what is referred to as a modern human. To be a bona fide Homo sapien, you must have culture, and this would include the idea of an afterlife. So you see, burying our dead is rooted in our history about as far back as we can go. The Neanderthals disappeared just like the rest of the hominids that came before you. They are basically a dead end on our family tree. But our really interesting relatives are coming up next. During the Neolithic Age, a new type of hominid was dominating the world. They were becoming more and more similar to modern humans. These Neolithic people had improved their tool and weapon technology and had moved from a constantly moving community to a semi-permanent or permanent settlement. This allowed for the development of agriculture and the domestication of animals. This movement happened between 9000 BC and 5000 BC. This is the best example of how early hominids were on their way to becoming people that you know. I hope that I didn't scare you too badly. Well, you better get back to your class, young lady. I'm sure your teacher will be glad to answer any of the questions that you have. Goodbye! I awoke startled, and everyone was looking at me. My teacher was talking about everything Lucy had mentioned, but stopped once she realized I had woken up. "So, young lady, what have you learned today?" she demanded. "Well, Teach, let me tell you.